You're listening to Family Today with Funmi Johnson.
This is another beautiful day that the Lord has made, and you know we are committed here to family improvement. This is Family Today with Funmi Johnson, and I will be sharing with you today the emotional needs of husbands and wives. Emotional needs in a relationship, what your partner can and can't do for you. So I want us to start by talking about what are your emotional needs. An emotional need is a craving that, when satisfied, leaves you with a feeling of happiness and contentment, and when unsatisfied, leaves you with a feeling of unhappiness and frustration. So have you ever been frustrated or feel unhappy in a situation, especially with your loved one? Maybe there's a gap in your emotional needs. Some of these needs include affection, conversation, honesty, openness, affirmation, family commitment. I mean, the list is endless. So it's important for us to understand what these needs are and know exactly how to meet them. Now, the first thing I want you to know is this: you cannot meet your spouse's need if you do not know how to fulfill your own needs. What are your needs? You need to identify what your needs are and how to meet them. It will be so unfair to expect that your spouse will meet your needs. So, and I'm saying this to both male and female, you need to listen to these attentively. This is going to help us to solve most of the problems we have in marriages. Now, you have to understand that you're in a relationship to bond with your spouse, to share events, big or small, to build a life together. So when you have an expectation that a husband or a wife will fulfill your need, you set yourself up for disappointment. I'm going to say that again. If you have planned that your spouse is going to be the person to meet your emotional needs, is going to make you happy, is going to, cross all the T's, is going to dot all the I's, you set yourself up for disappointment, because no human being can satisfy another human being. Very, very important. So to hope that another human being will meet your needs is asking too much of them. It's going to set them up to fail. It's going to set you up for disappointment. So don't look to where your spouse needs to change. So that's the law. Look to where you need to change. I'm going to say that again. One of the ways to stem against that tide of disappointment is not to look at what your spouse needs to do. Don't look at where your spouse needs to change. Rather, look to where you need to change. Don't have such great unattainable expectations of your spouse. Place your expectations on yourself. This is Family Today, and I'm saying something very, very serious, and I will drill down on this so that we can help ourselves. So one thing you need to do is you need to be alert when you reach out to others to fulfill your needs. What you're asking for, is this something that they should do, or they can do, or they have capacity to do? For many people, reaching out might be when they are bored, when they are lonely, when they are anxious. So you need to understand and regulate your emotions and know exactly at what time. Sometimes when you're really low, you just want someone to be the one to step in and do something. What I'm saying in essence is you need to identify the triggers. What are the things that make you crave for your partner to come and meet your needs? So identify the triggers and you begin to reduce your dependence on others in this situation. Say for instance, you are lonely because maybe you're in the empty nest, your children have left home and you're all alone by yourself. That's when you now suddenly realize that maybe before your children left, you saddled yourself with the responsibility of meeting some household needs, and you have occupied your space with that. But now that those household needs are no longer there, you actually need something to fill the space. So you now begin to see that your spouse is not doing some things. So the trigger is there's a gap. So why don't you look at how to fill that gap and not place an unrealistic expectation on your spouse? So the key is identify your triggers and then begin to reduce your dependence on others in this situation. If you delay reaching out, you can strengthen your own internal resources to process this difficult emotion. If you're able to look inward, if you're able to go back and say to yourself, why am I feeling low? Why am I feeling unhappy? Why am I feeling anxious? And you can identify the source of that problem, then you can tackle it yourself. You can do so by maybe journaling, maybe by exercising, maybe by taking a warm shower, or maybe by relaxing, maybe by just thinking. You can form the habit of sitting at home in the morning and think before your day starts. This is what I do in the mornings. When I wake up in the morning, I first of all lift up my two hands, praise God, pace up and down a little bit so I can wake up from my sleep. Then I try to cast my mind back a day or two or three a week to just appreciate God deliberately. Then I look at what are the high points and the low points, and then I begin to look at how to address it. It's important, first of all, to concentrate on yourself when you're looking at a beautiful situation. Now, do not depend on your partner to meet your needs. It's going to be difficult for them, and it's going to be frustrating for you. If you reach out to others to meet your need, you're reinforcing the idea that you're not capable of taking care of yourself. You're like a parasite. So it's important for you to prove to yourself that you are strong and you can take care of yourself. And I want you to say this after me: I'm strong and I can take care of myself. So the mere fact that you're married does now not mean that you're an imbecile and you can no longer think and you can no longer reason, and it's only when your spouse comes in that you can solve problems. No, you need to take that power away from your spouse. It's yours. You're not supposed to be someone that cannot do anything by yourself. So self-soothing is important. It's important, but it's also important for us to reach out and meet our spouse's needs. So I'm trying to balance a situation here. I'm talking about emotional needs. The first thing I've said is it's important for you to know that your partner is not the one that should fulfill all your desires. In actual fact, you should be able to take care of yourself. Next thing is, you now go out of your way to meet your spouse's need, because being selfless is a very, very good thing. So it's important that you learn how to meet your partner's needs. Now, I'm reversing it. It's not your partner meeting your need, but you meeting your partner's need. Try to be of help, because when you do that, then you will be bringing surprise to your partner. It will help strengthen the relationship, because it will be showing that you are intentional, that you are purposeful. So it will bring purposeful connection instead of neediness or expectations. That means when you are proactive and you're the one that is like thinking through. Let's say, for instance, your spouse likes to eat steel cut oats. Steel cut oat can be very tough, and then you wake up early and you soak it without your partner asking for it. That is meeting the need of that person. The person will think that, oh, I'm cared for, I'm important, and the person will feel really loved. So you are the one going out of your way. So it's based on intentionality. It's based on purposeful connection. The person is not needy. The person is not stranded, but you are the one saying, I'm going out of my way to meet your need. So your partner will feel loved, will feel important, and that's one way to deposit in the emotional bank account of your spouse. We all have emotional bank accounts, and it's important for us as husband and wives to keep depositing into the emotional bank account. So consider what your partner wants and values. What did I say? Consider what your partner wants and what your partner values. It is important for you to think and give your partner what he or she wants. Is he a home cooked meal person? Is he a special dinner person? Is he a fancy restaurant person? Is he a fast food person? Is he a buka? Is he a mama put? So you need to know. The mere fact that you take me to a fine dining where you're going to pay $100, $200 for a meal does not mean that's the best thing I want. Some people would like to go to a fancy restaurant. Some people would like you to stay at home and cook. Some people would like you to just give them money. So what does your spouse want? Very, very important. A special dinner, or maybe fixing the leaky zinc, the faucet. Maybe painting the wall. Maybe working together with your spouse to do the laundry. Maybe just sitting and affirming. Maybe some kind gesture. Let me give you an instance. A woman came to me and said, you know what? My husband is a good man. but he doesn't know how to tickle my fancy. I'm quoting the words of this woman. Said he doesn't know how to tickle my fancy. Okay, what happens? He's a good man, he's a great man, he's committed, he loves the family, he loves the children. He said, but I'm allergic and something happened. Prone to maybe once something changes in the environment, smell something, start sneezing. He said, I did something in the room that I think triggered the allergy. I said, okay, talk to me about it. He said, and I started sneezing. I said, even the sneezing was so hard, I was scared myself. Real big bam, bam, bam. That I was like, this is so much. And it was going on like sporadic, piam, 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 continuously for maybe up to like a minute or two. So she says she felt, I'm the only one at home because the husband had gone for a walk or something, wasn't around. Only for her to get a call. She got a call and it was her husband. Said, oh, I heard you're sneezing. I said, really? Said, yeah, okay. And that's really hard. Are you okay? And she said, oh, fine, I'm okay. And dropped the phone. So when we met later in the evening, he said, I don't understand. I said, talk to me. He said, I thought he was not at home. He was. He had that hard, painful, fearful sneezing, and he couldn't just come from the other room, and all he did was call. He said, I was disappointed, I wasn't happy. Now, I'm saying this to explain, in a situation like that, what would have been ideal was for the man to have walked to the room, maybe with a glass of water, maybe with an handkerchief, maybe with anything, maybe a tissue paper, and say, I don't know, are you all right? And maybe a little hug would have made a significant world of difference. Calling was showing, what, I can't really hazard myself. Yeah, I know you're sneezing. I know you sneezed yesterday and day before yesterday. That's really no big deal, even though that was a very, very huge one. So yes, you need to know how to seize the moment and to be able to meet the emotional needs of your spouse. That is one example of being proactive. I said, so help meet your partner's emotional need. Number 2, an act of kindness. An act of kindness. Like the example I gave is an act of kindness. You deliberately need to outdo your spouse in being kind. The effort to understand and willingly give is the key to a good relationship. Your effort to understand and to willingly give. Immediately you go out of your way to meet your spouse's needs, your spouse will also want to reciprocate that. So one of the reasons we don't get a lot of people coming to meet our needs is because we don't meet the other people's needs ourselves. So in the second part of this section, I'm going to talk about emotional needs, understanding your spouse's emotional need, and how you can plan yourself to meet that need. So once your mindset is about giving to your partner, you can start to expect that your own needs will be met. What I'm saying today is, wives, start looking at what you can give. But I want to talk more to men. A lot of times, men think that a wife would naturally meet the needs of the children, of themselves, need for their food, need for the toiletries in the house, need for food in the house, and they do not know that the responsibility, the reality of the 21st century is that the chores that the women are subjected to, those things are actually too much. In the olden days, the women didn't have to go to work. They didn't have to work in the bank, in the oil sector, or work to bring financial resources to the house. So the traditional roles were limited to just taking care of the children. But now they have to do that and also bring money in. So it's important for men to first of all understand that those roles need to be addressed. They need to be available. So you are the man, you go out of the house, you've gone to work from morning till night and you bring in money. Fine. What about the woman who is in the house all day? She's working in the house, yet she's bringing money. You want change? Do you want understanding? Do you want compatibility? I believe the answer is yes. What you need to do is ask directly your spouse, hey babe, how can I meet your need? Hey sweetheart, I would like to be of support to you. I'm concerned about your emotional well-being. I want to be part of what makes this home thick. Then you would hear your spouse say it. And I'm calling on all men, as you're listening to Family Today, before the end of tonight, ask your spouse this weekend, What can I do to meet your need? If you're able to ask your partner and he or she tells you this is what you want, it will be a good thing. I'm going to skew this conversation after the short break. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, the Funmi Johnson. Thank you.
Paul says it is better for a single man to marry than to burn. Are you single, married, widowed, separated, or divorced? Join me on Family Today.
Family Today with Funmi Johnson is one program that will bring you in alignment with who you truly are and open your mind to how you rock your significant interpersonal relationships while sidestepping the landmines culture, religion, and society have laid in your path. Family Today with Funmi Johnson goes where others are shy to go and shines the light in the dark corners others have forgotten. Tune in at 11:30 a.m. every Friday to listen to Family Today with Funmi Johnson on Inspiration 92.3 FM.
You are welcome. You're welcome. We're talking about meeting the emotional needs of your spouse. Now, let me go back to this again. What is marriage? Marriage is the coming together of a man and a woman from two different families. These two people come together to create a new family that will promote the best interest of all. And the culture that they're going to bring out of that new family is what they're going to send to the world. I want to say this again very slowly. Marriage is a coming together of a man and a woman from two different families. If you can write that down and underline that you're coming from two different families, different values, different experiences, different understanding, totally different. Now, unknown to many couples, the biggest source of marital pain is not the devil. It's not just a demonic attack. The greatest source is the conditioning and the culture of the family that produced each person. What did I say is the greatest problem? The conditioning and the culture that produced you, that produced your spouse. Now, for the records, couples hardly fight or quarrel over any other thing other than misplaced expectation. Like, you're supposed to do this. Why do you think your spouse is supposed to do the thing the way you think he should do it or she should do it? So what you're actually fighting is the culture that produced your spouse, because they see only from that prism. And that's what we need to address. For a successful, beautiful relationship, both of you need to understand that you're different. You have different exposures, different experiences, different values, and you both need to make adjustment. Very, very important. How many people have read the Bible, 2 Corinthians 6:14? Do not be unequally yoked. We often quote that scripture, do not be unequally yoked together with unbeliever. Now, a lot of marriage relationships are unequal yokes. A girl was raised from a family where birthdays were celebrated. 2 days to the birthday, they're already, making plans. Often there will be surprises. Definitely there will be cake. There will be maybe flowers. There are some landmark birthdays, 16, 18, 21, 25, 30. And these birthdays would come in different colors. Now, married to a hard guy, who doesn't even remember his own birthday. So, I don't remember my birthday. How am I going to now start getting flowers, cakes, petals, looking for surprises for your birthday? It's your birthday and it's just going to come and go. So, definitely there will be fight, because the culture that produced A celebrates birthday. The culture that produces B minimizes birthday. Neither is wrong. They're just different. Now, the question you want to ask me is, okay, I'm married. I've celebrated my birthday for 28 years. So what's going to happen to the rest of, my 60 years on earth? My husband is going to minimize my birthday. No. Husband, man, listen to me. If you're married to a woman like that, you need to understand that her emotional need requires for you to celebrate the birthday. So you would have to negotiate with her to help you come halfway. and say, I know this is important to you and I will try to. And sweetheart, young lady, if he is not doing it the way you want yet, don't fight him. Just tell him. Don't expect him to spin a surprise and come with something that he is not used to, because he has grown for 30 years not doing those things. So don't expect him to. But if you are both from a typical home where those things are common, it will be easy. I was with one respected man of God, and he said, I stood at my balcony at the terrace and I saw balloons coming in, decorator, they were putting red carpet, they were doing stuff. I said, what is happening? He said, today I'm going to propose to my fiancée. I said, really? I've been seeing her here. You've already introduced her to us. I already know you want to marry. I said, no, I must propose. He went to buy a ring. He said he was shocked. So he said he stood by the corner of his room waiting. And then some light music had come. The friends have come. All of them are hiding in different places. Someone had been, put to arrange for the lady to come in. And then the lady comes in. When the lady came in and saw the carpet, she already had an idea. Then she saw the petals, and then some television screen showing like a big theater, will you marry me? And my son came out, knelt down and put the ring, and the lady started crying. He said he didn't know when he started crying. Now, this is a man probably in his 60s. He had never experienced that. And he said he was like, what is this? He said he didn't understand. As he was telling us, he was almost dropping tears too. He said, I still don't understand, but it was beautiful. What I'm saying is, the mere fact that you're not used to those experiences does not make it wrong and does not make it bad. It's just that you are not used to them. So please, if you're in this situation, support your spouse. Try to learn, how to do it, and you can do it too. So both of you need to understand that you're just unequally yoked. Your beliefs don't align. So this is one of the most fundamental causes of crisis in many relationships, and they can be fixed. So all you need to do is aligning your beliefs. What did I say? Aligning your beliefs. I'm going to say this. I have just about 10 minutes and I want you to listen to this. If you missed this, you can go back to my Instagram and Facebook. You can get it, the Funmi Johnson. If you're not married, and if you're married, I'm going to tweak the question so that it can apply to both. If you're in a relationship, there are 5 questions I want you to ask. If you're in a relationship about to get married, what should you ask? Why do I want to get married to this person? You must be able to write that down. Why do I want to marry this person? Your reason must be strong enough to promote the best interest of both of you. Write that down. Now, if you're already married, the same question. Why did I get married to this man? That reason must be strong enough to promote the best interest of both of you. Number 2, if you're not married, the question is, what is going to be our marital vision? And if you're married, the same question, what is our marital vision? Both of you should do this and write it separately. Now, if your answer is not the same, you're headed in a chaotic direction. It means that somebody is going to be unhappy and somebody will be. I say this very, very convincingly that I've been married now for 30 years. On the 5th of December, 2022 will be 30 years. And one thing that is important is my husband and I, we married with one goal, not even to raise children, to advance the kingdom of God. That was clear. I was obstinate about advancing the work of God when I was single. And so when I met my husband, it was one common goal to us. You say, really? Yes. Did we have fringe benefits like having children, traveling the world, doing stuff? Yes. But that was not our goal. But a lot of times, most people go into a marriage relationship without having a goal. So they now begin to set up goals for themselves, like build house, have children. And so when those things don't come, they get frustrated. There are some things you are not in control of, sweetheart. So something that you cannot make happen for yourself cannot be something that you set as a goal. I can make advancing God's kingdom a goal for myself. So what's the first question? Why did I get married? Or why am I getting married to this person? Number 2, What is our marital vision? Very, very important. Number 3, what are our core beliefs? Now, if you don't share similar beliefs, you're going to have problems. So you need to sit down. What are your core beliefs? I believe that this is important. Take, for instance, I'm a Yoruba woman, but I don't do parties. So if you marry someone who believes there must be party, I know some people, every occasion they must carry cooler. Every occasion they must gather people. I don't believe so. You can still do certain things, but you don't have to have a party for every occasion. You don't have to do certain things. I'm not saying I would not attend family functions, but that would not be my sole essence for living. So it's important for you to understand that there is a better way to do certain things. So what are your core beliefs? What I would encourage you to do today is write your core beliefs, both of you, and see if you cannot agree on at least 6 of the 10 things that you write down. It's important that you address the situation. If you're not married yet, the Bible says in multitude of counsel there is safety. And I want to encourage you, if you're in a relationship that is leading towards marriage, please go for counseling. Let someone else involve others in this decision making. It's never too late to do so. Number 4, who is your marital counselor or coach? There must be an authority figure that you both defer to. If you don't have one that you commonly agree to and defer to, it's going to be tough. Some people say, oh, you don't need anybody. I bet a lot of times you need someone. Let it be someone that is trustworthy. Let it be someone who doesn't have skeleton in his or her cupboard. Let it be someone that you respect and who has made the word of God his or our final authority. Now, the last question is, when is the day when we are free to talk? How do we plan to talk about our differences? One of the reasons that people have resentments in a marriage relationship is because they don't have the opportunity to talk about how they feel. If you're in a relationship, you're still single, please create the time, the atmosphere for both of you to harmonize your differences. Remember, I said marriage is the donation of 2 people from 2 different families, 2 different people with 2 divergent experiences. Of course, some experiences are more noble than the other, some experiences are more interesting than the other, but the fact of the matter is these experiences are different. So it's important. Like I say to couples all the time, the mere fact that a good experience from your home is coming in does not mean that it will be acceptable in this new home. So even the good experience from your home, you have to negotiate to bring it into this home, because marriage is family A donating A, family B donating B, not to form a family AB, but to form a new family called family C. So all the things that will be upheld in family C would have to be pre-approved by the 2 parties in the house. And the 2 parties are you, the husband and the wife. So no experience or value is more important than the other. The only one that is important is the one that both of you have agreed to embrace. So I want to quickly say this. I know I will not be able to conclude it because we have just a minute. I'll be giving some tips to singles maybe in the next few episodes, so I want you to stay tuned. Towards the end of the year and the beginning of another year, singles are always worried and they're saying to themselves, oh, it didn't happen last year, no, it didn't happen this year, is it going to happen this year? Now I'm going to drop this before I leave and I'll continue sometime soon. Stop expecting someone to come. Start preparing yourself to be an excellent spouse. Let me say that again. Stop doing everything to make someone come. Start doing everything to make yourself irresistible. Work on your character. If you're big, work on your diet, work on your shape. You want to marry a gym brother, that's what we used to call it in those days, or a gym sister. Make yourself a gym brother or a gym sister. Start becoming what you are desiring. Let that be your goal. Another thing is this: remove the boundaries around yourself. This is just a tip for the singles before I draw the curtain today. Remove the boundaries around yourself, as in, you want to marry a great man, not a yellow man, not a dark man, not a short man, not a tall man. You want to marry a great man. There can be greatness in a short man. And there can be super greatness in a man from Igbo land or Igala land or the north, but because you have shut yourself, like I can't go beyond the scope. So the good man that you want is in that man that doesn't speak your dialect, or you have shut your brain to it that you can't take it. No, be open-minded and be the best version of yourself. I will continue this conversation about husbands and wives in our next episode. Remember, follow me, the Funmi Johnson. We'll continue same time next week.
Family Today with Funmi Johnson is powered by the Capstone Church Without Walls.